Is Barbie the bad guy in the Barbie movie? I want to talk about the accidental genius in the Barbie movie. If you haven't seen it, go watch it. It's a really good movie. I don't feel like it's a feminist attack on men like others are making it out to be. Like the video, save the video, come back later because there will be spoilers in this video. So the movie starts out with what I believe is a metaphor for the entire movie. We have Barbie looking through a mirror. Not at a mirror, looking through a mirror, looking through a fake mirror. Barbie in the beginning of the movie is very self-centered, very dismissive, avoidant, very hyper-independent. And I say accidental genius only because I don't know the writer's attachment style. I don't know the writer of this movie's viewpoints on relationships. However, I've watched a couple interviews with her, and she seems like a really intelligent woman. So I know a lot of the genius was on purpose. But when it comes to relationship dynamics, I don't know if this was accidental. So we have Barbie, who has a clear dismissive, avoidant attachment style, possibly a narcissist, who all the success is mine. This is my dream house. This is my happy life. And then we have Ken, who has more of an anxious attachment style, who feels like he only exists to find love. He only exists for Barbie. So Barbie starts feeling these dark emotions that she's never felt before. So she has to go to the human world to get to the bottom of it. So she goes to the human world. Ken loves the human world. Barbie hates the human world. Everything's run by men. We're in Barbie world. Everything's run by women. So Ken takes this knowledge, takes it back to Barbie land, turns Barbie land into human world. And the Barbies love it. The Barbies are having a fun time. President Barbie is like, being a president was way too hard. I'd much rather be a bottle girl. This is way more fun. And Barbie comes back and she's like, bro, what is this? You aren't supposed to be enjoying this. You're brainwashed. So they devise a plan. They're going to manipulate the men to get the power, which is very sociopathic, very narcissistic. So Barbie has this moment where she's going to pretend that she wants a relationship. Again, sociopathic. I'm going to pretend to want a relationship with Ken so that I can get close to him and take the dream house back. She gets to the Mojo Dojo Casa house. Ken's got his attitude because he's had his little heart broken. You know, he came back to this world and he's like, the only way women will want and respect me is if I have power, if I have things, much like the human world, which is a very clever, possibly accidental commentary on society. You have the man whose heart gets broken. He's still a good person with good intention, but maybe he watched a podcast of a certain influencer and now he's got this fake attitude when it comes to women, like he doesn't care. She's like, oh, I want to be your girlfriend. And he goes inside the Mojo Dojo Casa house and he's excited. Then he comes out and he plays it cool, like, yeah, whatever, I'll have to think about it. He's so excited, like, yes, my plan worked. I got all the things. I have all the power. Someone's going to finally love me. Barbie's next step is to turn the Kens against each other. And how they do this is a narcissistic tactic called triangulation, which I talked about in a previous viral video. So the Barbies are going to triangulate. They're going to have the Barbies at the top, and how they're going to turn the men against each other is, quote unquote, use the male's fragile ego against them and flirt with other Kens, which this point of the movie was spectacular. They really drove this point home because the movie is 100% right. My following is 90% female. I work mostly with women, and I love how they pointed out in the movie that men have a fragile ego around women talking to other men and flirting with other men. Again, working with a majority of women. Women love when men talk to other women. Only men have the fragile ego of their girlfriend talking to other men. Women love it. And if you couldn't tell, that's complete sarcasm. Nobody likes their partner flirting with other people. It's not a male's fragile ego. This moment is why I feel like the genius of the Barbie movie is accidental. I feel like the writer has a dismissive, avoidant attachment style because somebody with a dismissive, avoidant attachment style actually feels a sense of relief when their partner flirts with somebody else. You know, they might think that they're secure, but they're actually feeling relief because it takes off the pressure of commitment. It takes off the pressure of interdependence, which is the goal. However, we have an anxious, codependent Ken in the movie, and we have a hyper-independent, dismissive, avoidant Barbie who fears intimacy. I would love to talk to the writer about their viewpoints on relationships, but it seems to me from this scene alone that she views relationships from a very dismissive, avoidant, hyper-independent lens. That security equals not caring about what your partner does, not caring about who your partner talks to, which is not the case. That is not healthy. I know that she's married. Pretty sure she co-wrote this with her husband. But just because you're married in a relationship doesn't mean the relationship is healthy and that your views on relationships are healthy. Just like being single doesn't mean you're bad at relationships. But who knows? Maybe this is all part of the plan. So there's this moment of triangulation where the men are against each other. The women take this opportunity to vote. Women take over again. It's this message of like, oh, maybe one day men will have just as much power in Barbie world as women have in the real world. This point is very subtle, but actually really genius. In this moment, the movie kind of admits that Barbie world is just as toxic, if not more toxic, as the real world. Barbie world is a mirror image of the real world, meaning that the entire movie acts as a mirror for the viewer. The point of Barbie world being toxic is for the male viewer to feel discomfort, to feel angry at the reality of Barbie world and how unfair it is. As a man, you're supposed to feel Barbie world is unfair because that's women saying like, oh, that seems unfair. Well, that's our reality in the real world, so let's change that. However, if you leave this movie angry at women or you leave this movie angry at men, you're Barbie in the beginning of the movie with the fake mirror, seeing through the mirror instead of at yourself. Because Barbie does not grow as a character in this movie. Barbie, by the end of the movie, is just as hyper-independent, self-centered, and narcissistic as she was in the beginning. The reason that I say this, she takes no accountability and she runs from potential consequences of her actions. Just like an avoidant person does, just like a narcissist does. A narcissist never looks in the mirror and thinks, maybe I'm the problem. Instead, everything around them is the problem. So what does Barbie do at the end of the movie? After she creates this divide in Barbie world, she runs to the real world. Because a narcissist's solution to discomfort is changing their environment instead of changing themselves. The only person who changes in this entire movie is Ken. So Ken starts off as an anxiously attached person. During the breakdown, he's sad when Barbie is constantly reminding him, this is my house. This is my dream house. My. Everything is mine. My success is mine. Ken is sad, like, I just wish this could have been our dream house. Which is also possibly commentary on society, where not all women, but a majority of women with success, they don't want to share their success. It's all theirs. Where a man has no issue sharing their success, sharing their home. Women have this mindset of, I'm not going to take care of somebody's son. Where men are more than happy to take care of the woman. Barbie is a mirror of a masculine narcissist in the human world who uses money and power to control. But because she's a female, she isn't interested in controlling Ken. She has the money, she has the power to herself. What does she need Ken for? Why share her success with anybody when success is all that matters to a narcissist? Love doesn't matter. So what happens instead is Barbie holds a metaphorical mirror to Ken. She says something along the lines of, there can be Barbie and then Ken. We're separate. Very dismissive, avoidant mindset to have, especially in relationships. Yours, mine. Where a secure person thinks ours, our life, our relationship, our mojo, dojo, casa house. Where dismissive avoidance and narcissism thinks my dream house, my dream house. This is mine. This is my success. This is my house. Everything is mine. So she holds the mirror and shows the separation. She's like, you're enough. This is breakthrough moment where Ken heals his anxious attachment and this desperation to win an avoidant over who doesn't want him, who doesn't want any sort of intimacy. She's hyper independent. She wants her independence and nothing else. And Ken says, I'm enough. I'm enough. I don't need to be chasing after somebody who doesn't love me. And that's what having a secure attachment is all about. Ken is the only character in this movie who heals from his toxic ways. Instead of blaming the environment, Ken is the only character who looks in that mirror and changes. He's the only character who looks in the mirror and sees how unhealthy he was. And he finds a way out and he changes and he heals. Where Barbie, even in the end, looks through the mirror, blames her unhappiness on the environment and not herself, and leaves. Runs to a land that is exactly the same land as the land Ken was trying to make. Why not just keep it the same if that's where you were going anyway? Because avoidance and narcissists run. They don't face their problems. They don't change. They don't grow as people. They just change the people around them. They look for enablers. Ken's not the hero, and Barbie's not the hero. Neither one of them are heroes. But Ken is the only character who grew. Ken is the only character who became healthy by the end. Here's the argument. If you have a dismissive avoidant attachment style, you're going to think Barbie's very healthy and hyper-independence is the answer, but it's not. Interdependence is the answer. Healthy communication is the answer. Sharing a life together is the answer. Not living parallel lives. You're not roommates. You're in a relationship. But also know you're enough. If Barbie doesn't want you, go find the Barbie that does want you. Let's not waste our time and energy on somebody who doesn't want us. And let's not fill our life with flashy things trying to attract the wrong people. Did I overanalyze the Barbie movie? Absolutely, probably. I truly believe the point of the movie is that neither worlds are the answer. The answer is just loving each other, respecting each other, and finding a balance that works. At least I hope that's what the message was.